Top of the morning, my world. It's your boy Kish my world. And today I'm gonna tell you about why I'm terrified about traveling. You know, basically traveling seems like it's all beautiful. You're always seeing all these beautiful things. You're always here seeing the oceans and seeing the mountains, seeing the valleys, seeing the deserts, just all these things all together. But there's a huge part of traveling that actually is a huge stress for me, and I'm going to tell you about it right now. So basically, it's all fun and games when you're out there and seeing and enjoying all the travels that happen. But the back story behind it is actually one of the reasons why I'm terrified of traveling. And this has mostly and mainly to do with the type of passport that I hold. And, you know, I don't know, maybe of where I come from, being a black African traveler traveling the world. And this is one of the biggest anxieties that somebody like me and probably other African travel vloggers have experienced when we're doing our travels, because literally you go through a lot of processes, you know, filling in papers before you get the visas. You know, there's a whole visa process you have to fill in, and you have to fill in your details accurately. If you make one small mistake, it's grounds for being denied. So you pay a lot of huge prices for the visas because they're not free. I mean, in Kenya we are a bit okay because we have, as you guys can see, first of all, I'm from Kenya. So I'm talking about when I'm traveling with my Kenyan passport. Our passport is actually good enough that we have a series of countries where we are visa free, and I also hold a Schengen residence permit, so traveling within Europe is not a problem for me. But I'm talking about when I'm traveling outside of Europe, when I'm traveling to other African countries. This is the biggest, you know, anxiety, stress that faces an African travel vlogger. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because we find a lot of discrimination, I don't know, or a lot of skepticism. Let me use skepticism instead of discrimination, because when they say that you're an African traveler traveling to other countries, you really put in questions. Like, for example, when I was coming into Mexico, you know, it was the same thing. They're like, where are you from? Where did you get your visa from? You know, they want to hotel reservations, everything. And when you're traveling, or I'm traveling with my like, for example, I travel with Jackie or with other Europeans, for them it's just so smooth. Sometimes even if like I meet somebody in like the flight and we start talking and then we get to immigration, then you see like how smooth theirs goes. But when it's like an African passport, they're there scrutinizing, checking your visa, your hotel reservations, your flight out. So basically, this is one of the biggest stresses I feel that we encounter as African travelers, you know, that I have experienced firsthand. So this is just generally one of the biggest anxieties that I have faced as an African traveler so far in the countries that I've gone that are visa required. And you can see, like, in the video I'm gonna attach here, this was like when I was coming from Morocco, you know, getting into Morocco and getting out of Morocco. An African country, I'm an African, but they do not understand how as an African you can be able to come and tour the country, how you've been surviving, you know. So basically it was a bit of a disaster because I got into that country. First of all, I was taken into a different room, but then I thought, it's just standard. But apparently Jackie went straight. But that was, you know, I just brushed it off and I thought, okay, this is just maybe something that is standard for everyone coming into the country. But when I was leaving the country, it was even worse. Like, I don't understand how it was so complicated for me to simply just get out of the country. They had to check all these things. They had to check how long I've been there, where I've been staying. You know, they had to check my documents, they had to do all these things, and it's a bit ridiculous, you know. So this is just some of the stresses of being an African traveler and traveling with an African passport. Guys, this is how it feels like to be a black traveler on an African passport. You have to wait and wait, interrogation, a lot of interrogations, you know, checking your passports, checking your validity. Now is my turn. Well, the Europeans have already gone. Kish my world, finally made it through customs, immigration, passport control. And man, it really is difficult being an African traveler, a black traveler. Even in Africa, it's really hard. I've been there for almost 30 minutes, you know, just getting passports check, and I have everything in check. But it took so long, questions, you know, it's a bit annoying. So, but that's how it is being a black traveler. Even an African in Africa, they have to go through all these things. I was held in a room, asked questions, but now I'm out, finally. You know, it's a bit ridiculous. And this European here went direct, you know, like they just check her passport and they're like, okay, thank you, bye bye, see you again. Me, I was taken from one room, they checked my documents, took me to the other room, you know, asked me how long I've stayed here, which hotels I've stayed. Like just a bunch of silly questions, and everything is on the internet. But at least I made it. And actually that guy, when I left, he had my residence card. He forgot it. So I went and I had to be kicked back again the other side, and then the guy had forgotten it in the scanner or something. Yeah, I don't know why he was scanning my residence card. But anyways, I made it. Bags are ready. And now, yeah, we're about to board. So it's always good if you're a black traveler, an African traveler, always come to the airport early, because the process takes very long time. Anyway, inshallah, we're gonna get the European passport soon, and then we'll kiss these troubles goodbye. Kish my world. Now let's go and board the flight. Ooh, exhausting. So guys, with that being said, I really hope that when you see how much we go out there to explore and see the world and create content, you guys realize that African travelers are not having it easy. I've heard it from other even big travelers like Marwa, or you know, like what is his name, like Odemaya, and you know, the likes of Dimwango, African Tigress. All these people, we actually go through the same thing, and it's a bit encouraging because you can see they're like big time YouTubers with thousands and thousands of followers or subscribers, but they still go through the same shit that we go through, you know. So it's a bit encouraging to see that it's not only like small time YouTubers but also big time YouTubers. Like basically everybody is going through this, but it's really disappointing. Like you have no idea if you have, like you guys, if you're watching this and you have a European or an American passport or an Australian passport, you probably don't understand. But just walking through that immigration, at that particular point, your brain is all over, you know. You're just wondering, oh, will I come in? Because you can imagine if they deny you entry, you have to lose your flights, you have to lose your hotel reservations, you have to lose your time, all the experiences you planned to do and see, and for no apparent reason, you know. So basically it's such a traumatic experience, and this is why I say this is the terrifying part of being a traveler, of being a travel blogger. So next time, you guys, if you see us out there bringing new content, doing all these things, make sure you just, at least you appreciate, because it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. So yeah, it's been your boy Kish my world. Thanks for watching this video to the end, and just support this page by just giving it a like, share it with your friends, you know, and subscribe to the page if you haven't. Kish my world. Let's do this. Boom.